Oh my God. I think I remember how to do this. I'm awfully wiggly. Yeah, it has been a little over a month. I don't know. My last podcast episode, I had Ellen here, and we did a little fun one. I think it was June 20th. So yeah, we're over a month since I've been here. Man, it kind of feels a little awkward, to say the least. We're going to do a little sniffle because allergies and a little drink of water. Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the current socioeconomic climate in America?
I think hamburgers and cheeseburgers work well with fries.
So, I'm back. Yeah. I jotted a few things down on the old notebook here. But first, I want to thank Panfish Pursuers P3 Plastics for helping out the show. And I apologize to you guys for taking some time off. I'll get into that in a little bit. But for all you guys out there looking for that edge on some Panfish Plastics, P3-plastics.com is the place to go. Get all your really cool panfish soft plastics from those guys. They're all mimicked or modeled, I should say, after actual invertebrates that bluegills and crappies, panfish in general, love to feed on. And they have an open water series too, where they've taken some of those profiles and made them a little bit bigger, and they're dynamite. Nice soft plastic, a lot of movement, really good action. Also, I have a code for you. That code is, let me look on my little notebook here because I wrote it down. It is OPWP315. That'll save you 15% on your total order. All right. And thank you to Ridgetop Outdoors for being a part of the Lone Angler family, the Lone Angler gang. Ellen and I actually stopped in there and loaded up on some gear for her. She picked out some tackle, and it's good to see Justin and see what's been kicking around at the old Ridgetop Outdoors. Things are going good down there. It has been somewhat busy summer for those guys. I was afraid with the gas prices the way they are that things would kind of slow down, but they may have just a little bit. But people are still going to go fishing. You're still going to need stuff, and that's a great place to stop if you're coming up to the Bemidji area or passing through on your way to Lake of the Woods. You know, stop in. Highway 71 and Highway 2 right there, right before the overpass. And swing in there. Tell them the Lone Angler sent you. All right, let's get down to business, shall we? Summer shenanigans. Where was I? What was I doing? And all that good stuff. Well, as I've said earlier, Ellen was here. She arrived, June 10th. I believe it was. She showed up, and we got to spend our summer together. She was here for about 7.5 weeks, close to 8 weeks, something like that. And, I do get limited time. If you're a longtime listener, you kind of know that. If you're new here, I welcome you, and you're going to hear a little bit about my daughter and my summer together. She got here in June, and she was pretty fired up. She was excited. She loves fishing. And on our Instagram, we posted some of our adventures out in the float tube. She has her very own float tube. And this is her second summer with it. And a little disclosure here. If you hear some meowing, we got a kitty. All right, we'll get into that here in a little bit too. So I just wanted to give you a heads up. Nothing's wrong with your car or your headphones. I just have a little cat here that probably wants my attention. But anyway, back to Ellen and our summer here. She got her float tube. I gave it to her last summer. And so she was really, really excited to get out in her float tube and do a little fishing with Dad. And we got to go, it's never as much as we want to. Lot of it has to do with the wind and the weather. This summer, early summer, it was fairly windy most days here, and that could be a pain. Not so much for me, but for a 9-year-old trying to navigate the waters in a float tube, it can get pretty frustrating. But we did manage to get out, I think 4 or 5 times, and we kicked out on Bemidji. We kicked out north of town, a little bit of south of town, and always fun. She absolutely loves that vessel, and again, it's she gets to make her own decisions in that flow tube. She can go where she wants to, and however fast she wants to, when she wants to. I mean, it's just total independence, and I think that's important when you're teaching young kids how to fish, is to give them that independence. Let them make some mistakes. Let them celebrate their own victories, no matter how big or small. They're all victories. It doesn't really matter. And her having her own gear just really, really helps with that. But we didn't catch any super giants of anything really. Ellen did catch a bass. It was probably about 2.5, 2 3/4 pound, and she thought it was an absolute monster. For her, it was a nice fish. Put up a pretty good fight for her, and she was pretty proud of it. But our last kick of the summer, and I believe I still have to make that entry into my diary. Let me hold on a second. Let me take a look. Yeah, I've been keeping a manual fishing log this year, and it's actually been quite fun. I rather enjoy it. Let me flip over here. Let's see. Nope, I still have to enter that in, but I can tell you right now, our last kick was the I want to say the 27th, I believe, of July. 27th. Yeah, that sounds about right. Matter of fact, I'm going to double check. Sorry, it's almost like I'm a brand new podcaster. I'm making all the mistakes. No, it wasn't the 27th. It was the 30th. Yeah. Nope. Yep, it was the 30th. July 30th, because we went to the Black Duck Woodcarvers Festival first, which is a really cool thing. It's really awesome. You should, look that up on the old interwebs. But yeah, Saturday, July 30th, we were out doing a little pan fishing from the tube. It was a beautiful day. It was smoking hot. And I decided to bring only the fly rod, which leads me into, I haven't really been doing that much fly fishing because the few times we've went out with Ellen, just wanted to be there for her and pay more attention to her instead of focusing on what I was trying to learn and that kind of stuff. So I really didn't take the fly rod out too much. I brought it along with me a lot, but I didn't use it. But on the 30th of July, I brought just the I brought the fly rod and one of my 44-inch ice rods. And so I'm sitting there and I'm practicing my fly casting and whatnot, and Ellen's got her little ultralight spinning set up, and she's behind me. I can't really see her. She's off in the distance a little bit, and I'm practicing. I'm trying to figure out how to do a double haul, which is very ugly right now. Very ugly. It's very hard to do from a sitting position. Anyway, I just laid a grasshopper down on the edge of the lily pads, and I hear splash. And I turn around real quick, and I see Ellen, almost shoulder deep over the side of her flow tube. And I'm wondering, what the heck could that have been now? I wonder if she just dropped her water bottle or something like that. And I asked her, I said, "Hey, Ellen, is everything okay?" And she looks up, and all I see are these great big eyes and tears. And I knew right away what it was. She had accidentally dropped her fishing rod over the abyss. We were sitting in, 25 to 30 feet of water. And she just instantly started crying. And I just asked her, I said, "Well, what happened?" And she said, "Oh, I was adjusting the net or getting the net out, and it fell off the side, Dad. I'm so sorry." The tears, just a super long face. And I said, hey, relax. It's okay. It's okay. These things happen. I've been fishing for a long time. You would be surprised at the amount of stuff that I have lost. Oh yeah, cell phones, ice rods, long rods, broken stuff. It just happens. It's the nature of the game, I tried to tell her. And she made me realize, why she was so upset with her statement of, Dad, I'm sure that was really expensive. And I couldn't quite figure it out there for a second, and I thought about it for a couple more seconds, and I realized that, yeah, a lot of the fishing equipment she sees here, it's not to be bougie or anything like that, but yeah, I've got some pretty expensive stuff. And so she thought it was, some of these custom rods or, higher end fishing poles. And I kind of chuckled. I said, well, I'll tell you what. A couple of things, Ellen. One, that rod and reel combo that you had, that little ultralight that I said is yours, was actually your mom's from when we were back in college. And it was a Shimano, some Shimano rod and an Abu Garcia reel. Total, probably about $65-$70. And I knew back then, 10 years ago. And I said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If anything, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. Now you get to pick out some new stuff that Dad'll get for you. And so, that helped dry up the tears a little bit. But the only problem is we only been fishing for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half tops. And I said, well, do you want to use my long ice rod? No, Dad, that's okay. I said, no, I don't want you to be afraid of losing things, okay? Things happen. Things happen. It's not a big deal. Oh, well, there's nothing we can do about it, but I want you to fish. I don't want this little accident, this little tiny negative experience just plant its ugly feet right in your mind and it's there forever, and then you're hesitant about doing anything. And so she took the rod and she was like, Dad, it's not leaving my hand. I said, just fish like you normally do. I think you're pretty sharp. I think you've learned, where to set the rod. You made a mistake. You just pay a little extra attention. I think you're going to be fine, Ellen. And then she went on to just slay a bunch of fish vertically jigging. I didn't do so well fly rod casting. I caught a bunch of little ones. I did get one a little over 9.5 inches, which was pretty fun. But needless to say, we only fished for like another hour or so. And then we said goodbye to the flow tube adventures for the summer, which was a bummer. But, it goes by so fast when she's here. And that just tells me that we have such a fun time, and it's good quality time that the days feel like minutes. They just fly by. That means we're doing it right. That's all I can say. It just sucks, man. It just sucks. So, but some of the other things that we did this summer that were a lot of fun outside of fishing was my daughter's really into art. She loves to draw and paint and just create things. And we found ourselves on those days that we couldn't go out and kick the tube or go fishing or whatever. We found ourselves at a park, in the pavilion, setting up our art stuff, and we painted and we drew. We brought our colored pencils down and some coloring book type stuff, more of the adult type art. Oh, you could probably. It's not that, okay? It's not what you're thinking. But they're more, how do we put it? More professional coloring books, okay? Not super cartoony. The art is up a few notches, I should say. And, so we found those things to do. I'm trying to think of some other stuff. We got into some more photography. And I had given Ellen, I had bought off Facebook Marketplace a while back a Fuji Instax SQ6, which is a little Polaroid or instant film camera, and it coughs out these little 3-inch by 3-inch instant developed film. And I kind of sort of just a little tiny bit have some remorse for giving her that camera because it was a lot of fun. Problem is Ellen grew up, Dad, watching me take pictures with my cell phone or my Nikon digital camera, and just firing off pictures. Boom, boom, boom. We might take 25 pictures in a day. Not a big deal. Little does she know that in each cartridge of this instant film, there's only 10 pictures. So just taking random selfies and whatnot, yeah, you're going to burn through some money pretty quick. So there was a little bit of that at first, but then she got the idea of, hey, I have X amount of pictures and then I'm done. Because the film for this camera is actually kind of hard to get. You got to get it from Amazon. I haven't been able to find it anywhere hanging on a store shelf. Target, Walmart, anywhere. At least up here in Bemidji. So, once she got the idea to wait for that special perfect moment or to capture that one thing that really, I think, took a hold. And sorry, I'm just a little choked up on that because it was just one of those father-daughter things that was just so much fun. So much fun. So Dad's got to put in another Amazon order because I just got the word today that she ran out of film. So I might have to remind her, hey, taking pictures of your toys or the drawings that you do, probably not a good idea. I'd wait for something super special. So yeah, we did a little bit of that, and we visited family, just getting in the quality time with grandma and grandpa and aunts and uncles and all that good stuff. So, all in all, it was a lot of fun. And I asked her before, as we were sitting in the Minneapolis airport waiting for her plane to get here and for her to board, I said, what was the biggest difference between this summer and last summer? And almost without hesitation, she said, Dad, we cooked our meals just about every night. We had 2, maybe 3 nights where we just said, you know what? It's way too hot. Let's have a treat. Let's order a pizza and watch a movie. We did that once, and I think we ordered Jimmy John's one time, maybe 2. I'm not sure. Or no, Jimmy John's and Dunkin' Donuts. We had breakfast at Dunkin' Donuts once. But other than that, we were just cooking meals like I've been doing. And, and she loves to cook. So she got to learn some new recipes that she's brought back down to Tennessee. This cat's freaking out. Anyway, I had to, I'm back. Sorry. Cat's just freaking out, climbing all over the chair that's in front of me. But she really loves that. Again, it's another thing. It's a creative process. So she really got in there, and I think one of the highlights of the new things that we made were protein blizzards, healthy protein blizzards. And they're around 220, 230 calories, like 33 to 40 grams of protein. It's super good. Super good. Ended up getting a little Food Ninja type smoothie bowl blender deal, and that was awesome. We had a great time with it. We made some donuts, all that kind of stuff. And she really, like I said, she really enjoyed that, and it was a lot of fun for me. And the other thing that she said that was different was we were way more active. We did a lot more walking around. We went on art walks or just walking around down by the lake. We walked down and checked out a sunrise, got up super early. She'd never seen the sun come up, so there we were on a dock on Lake Bemidji watching the sun come up. That was awesome. And she said we just did a lot more of that kind of stuff, and it just kind of made me tear up because she's like, Dad, you've lost a lot of weight and you look great and you're way more active. And that just really hit me right in the feels, like, hey, I'm doing something right, not only for myself, but for her too. And, it just, I'm getting a little choked up thinking about that too. Maybe I should switch back over to a little bit more fishing, but just a couple more minutes here. Just a couple more minutes. But, I told her, hey, the food that we're eating is the stuff that's been helping me keep things in check and under control. And I showed her the app, the app that I'm using to keep track of my caloric deficit and everything like that. Now, with that being said, I actually did pretty darn good this summer. I did not go to the gym. My winter special membership came up right before Ellen showed up, and I was just freaking out about, man, I got to get signed back up and so on and so forth. And a good buddy of mine said, hey man, don't worry about that. Just keep track of your nutrition, your food. She's gonna have you running all over the place. You guys are gonna be fishing like crazy with your tubes and all that kind of stuff. Don't worry about that, because the gym times is gonna take time away from you and her. After she leaves, that's when you go back. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to probably be back in the gym before the end of the month here. But I did that. I did that very thing that he said. I just kind of kept track of my stuff, and I lost actually a few more pounds. I did go in for another body scan, and I believe it was like July 3rd, 2nd, something like that. And needless to say, I was down quite a bit, like 45 pounds or 50 pounds, something like that. Yeah. So things are good, man. I'm fired up about it. Anyway, well, you know what? One more thing. With that being said, minus those pounds, I even noticed in the float tube, it rides a little bit higher. I can kick a little bit faster. I can stay out a little bit longer. That is also very motivating. So I can't wait to get back in the old gym. Ooh, wow. So that was pretty much our summer. The end of summer, just had us down in at my sister's place in Brooklyn Park, just kind of hanging out, getting some auntie and uncle time in. Did a little mini golfing over there, and a little putt, I think it's called, in Anoka. And just kind of hung out. And next thing I know, Tuesday was here, and we were headed for the airport. And she was back home in Tennessee by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was still 2 hours away from Bemidji with a long, sad face. But, through technology, FaceTime, we've been FaceTiming every night, and we're good. We're good. Both of us are starting to find our groove without each other, and so on and so forth. Which leads me to this. I think this weekend coming up here, let's see, you're going to be listening to this Friday. So yeah, this weekend coming up here, I'm going to meet up with Mr. John Seeley, and we're going to go out and do a little float tube fishing up on the Red Lake Reservation. Yeah, John, here's a cool little backstory. We're going to fish, and then we're going to come back to the studio and talk. But John actually bought one of my float tubes, of my original float tubes that I had when I was in college. And he's been doing a little bit of kicking, but we've never float tube fished together. So we're going to go on a panfish hunt up there on the Red Lake Reservation and see if we can't rustle up some giants. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm just going to continue on hunting for my PB bluegill. Going to try to break it. I think it was 2 falls ago. I got 11 3/8 inch female bluegill. Pulled her out of about 22 feet of water, according to the little Garmin. And 11 3/8 inches. This time I'm going to bring my scale. Although the scale has been getting full-time duty weighing out food portions, might have to bring it along with me some evening here and weigh something. Because 11 3/8 is a big bluegill, and she was pretty fat. But I don't know. She could have been a pound quarter. Could have been a pound and a half. She could have been 3/4 of a pound. Not really sure. That's where that scale comes in handy. I'd rather know the weight than the length. I mean, the length is the easiest to get, though, so that's why I think everybody just talks about the length of fish all the time. and seldom do we talk about pounds, especially in the panfish world. I think I've talked about it before. I've caught 10-inch bluegills that I've laid on a scale that were over a pound. I've also caught 10-inch bluegills that weren't even a half a pound, So, yeah, it'll be fun. We'll see. The fly rod will continue probably through this month, and then I'm going to switch over and I'm going to try some streamer fishing. So besides flow tube fishing coming up this weekend, Friday night has me doing some digital life organizing, where I go through the phone, I get rid of apps I don't use, adjust things, move photos from cloud storages to cloud storages, so on and so forth. Just a little bit of tidiness there. And then I'm going to be hanging out, depending on what time I get done with that, I'll be hanging out at the fly tie-in bench and tying up some panfish streamer patterns that I've found. Oh, hi, Kat. Kat's up on the podcasting table. Nah, it's fine. She's good cat. She hasn't chewed any cords yet. I'm still able to record this. Yeah, and then Sunday I think I'll meet up with John and we'll go kick some tubes and see if we can't muster up any giant bluegills. But yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like this is a little bit crusty, a little bit rusty, maybe a tiny bit cringe. I'll be honest with you, I'm a little out of practice. I pretty much took the whole summer off, and it just feels a little awkward. I actually just penned out the outline for this podcast. I was sitting at my last break at work and was like, man, I knew I was going to do one, but I had to outline some stuff, because I really, yeah. So here we are. Cringe away. I'll try to post up on Instagram some of the streamers that I produced over the weekend. Please be kind. I'm not a professional fly tyer. I'm learning that when it comes to material, less is more. Because they don't give you an amount to use. They're just here's the recipe, your hook, your bead, your body, your tail, your thread, blah, 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 eyes, so on and so forth. But I don't tell you how much. So I'm learning that. What it looks like in the picture, I've got to train my brain to be okay, less is more on a lot of flies. I did do some Clouser style minnows or streamers that I think had way too much hair on them. They were rather bulky. Anybody want a cat? This is a new one for me. But yeah, so I'm gonna be doing a little bit of that, because this fall I'll probably switch over to some streamers and see if I can't get anything out deep and learn some streamer fly casting. Because why not? Eventually I want to do that for largemouth and smallmouth and walleyes and who knows, maybe even pike, muskie, whatever. We'll see. Dogfish. Man, the list goes on. But that's what I'm really looking forward to the most this winter is getting more time on the bench, because there's more crappy days. And last winter, I really didn't even go ice fishing. And to be honest with you, I haven't really thought about it too much yet. We'll see when the trees start changing color. We'll see how my attitude about winter is. We'll see where it's at. Who knows? Maybe that time off from last winter pretty much will be you know what? I want to get back out there. I feel refreshed and energized again. I have seen some stuff kind of roll through the old Instagram from some ice fishing companies. That's been pretty fun, especially reading the comments. People act like they're the first ones to do something. It's no, not really. Been out there for quite a few years, and I don't know, man. Sometimes I just get the vibe that ice fishing has kind of hit a wall as far as innovation. I don't know. And I'm not going to include electronics into there because electronics are starting to become I'm just going to say it, kind of out of hand, and they're kind of an all-season thing now, I guess. Maybe I shouldn't say out of hand, but they're more of an all-season thing. So, but I'm just talking, shelters, augers, general ice fishing equipment. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully I'm pleasantly surprised coming up here as we get closer into the fall and companies start releasing little tidbits of stuff and whatnot, but we will see. There's a orange, I'll just say orange pistol bit out there now, pretty much. That's about all I've seen so far. Another company with a full-size door. That's what I was talking about. I flipped into the comments and I was like, wow, some people have been living under a rock. The full-size door has been around for a while. It's been around for a while, but like I've always said, copying is the biggest form of flattery, I guess. But who am I to say? I just design fish houses, and I kind of understand the struggle of, hitting a wall sometimes. You end up like redrawing the same thing that's already been done, and it gets frustrating. And maybe I should talk about that sometime on a different podcast or on a different episode. Not that I'm a super genius professional designer or anything like that. I work with a team of guys, and we all kind of put our input together, and I just put that stuff on a computer screen. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm gonna stop trying to drag this out and making the cringe even worse. So we're just going to get out of here. I'm going to go take care of the cat. Apparently it wants to scrap, fight, play, cuddle, rub. I don't know what's going on with the thing. It's been many years since I've had a pet, so I'm figuring that out too. With that being said, I hope your guys' Friday is magical. You have a great weekend. And you please tune in next week, man. I appreciate you guys for following and listening to the Lone Angler podcast. Be awesome. Have fun. Set some hooks. I'm Patrick, and I'm out of here.